Hello, I'm Bryan Hutcheson, Sheriff of Rockingham County in the city of Harrisonburg, and thank you for joining me for today's segment of the Rocktown Crime Report on rocktownnow.com. Today is Friday, September the 27th, and what we have for you today is actually in this segment, we're going to catch up on some questions. It's been a while, actually, several segments probably since we've gotten to any questions that's come in, so we have several questions kind of in the question bank that we need to get to. So today I think we're going to cover two of them, and then maybe, of course, in the next segment we'll get caught up eventually as we go. But we had a couple today that I wanted to start with in getting caught up on those questions. So the first one that came in, and I think this is kind of a follow-up. If you saw the segment we did where the question was, how does the hiring process work for RCSO? This question, I believe, was a follow-up to that, and it's on me for not covering it the first time. But this question was, how old do you have to be to work for RCSO? And I don't think I touched on it then, so thank you for that question. And basically, to answer it pretty simply, for us, the way it works is once you're 18 years old, so once you're legally an adult, you can work here in the jail. And then once you're 21 years old, you could work in the patrol division. So pretty much 18 to start, 21 to go on patrol. Answers that question there. So again, it's on me if I didn't say it, but check out that segment on the hiring process that we did if you have additional questions. But as far as ages go, hopefully that answers that one pretty clearly. The next question we wanted to get to, another one that came in, we wanted to kind of touch on and cover today. Can you explain the overall process for a victim to report a crime? And that's a great question, and I'll kind of run through that. Hopefully step by step, or at least cover some key points that might be relevant. Hopefully you don't have to deal with it, but maybe we'll cover some things to be mindful of if you do. So first off, number one thing is call 911, whatever the crime may be. And some people have this little maybe natural hesitancy to call 911 depending on the level of what they feel the emergency itself is. But don't hesitate to call 911. We're gonna put a graphic on there for you to look at on the board there. And obviously 911's for emergency. Don't ever hesitate to call that. If in doubt, call 911. But we also have a couple non-emergency numbers. The our number, which is non-emergency, you can call us 24/7. The non-emergency number for ECC, which is the dispatch center that we use and communicates with our deputies regularly, again 24/7. That number you can use, as well as the magistrate, which is located here in our office. They're also open 24/7. So those are three non-emergency numbers that you maybe want to save in your phone. They're good to have those. But again, to reiterate the first thing, if in doubt, never hesitate to call 911. If you think you might, you probably do. So start by, as a victim of a crime, call 911 if in doubt, and call them as soon as possible. So let's use, I guess, to kind of walk through this process of reporting a crime as a victim, we'll use maybe an example if you have a four-wheeler that's stolen. Well, as soon as you realize that four-wheeler is stolen, call it in. Call it in as soon as possible. You might have not been looked in that barn in a week, and so you're not exactly sure when it was stolen, but you know it was stolen. As soon as you realize it was stolen, as soon as you realize yourself to be a victim of a crime, report it without delay. The more delay that there is, the worse it is for us. So without delay, call it in as quickly as possible. And we'll respond. Law enforcement will respond and come out there and try to get as much information as possible. So any information you have in preparation for that is a good thing. Using this four-wheeler example, if you have the title, if you have the year, the make, the model, a serial number is great. A photo, if you had a photo, anything at all to help us identify that four-wheeler for our reporting purposes and hopefully for purposes of solving the crime is a very good thing. So be prepared. You're going to have some basic questions asked of you. When did you last see it? Was it locked? Were the keys in it? Things like that. But be prepared to answer some questions, and hopefully any details or documentation you can provide is going to be a big assistance. So be thinking about that. And then also, are there any witnesses, potential witnesses that you might know of? Are there any suspects or potential suspects that you might know of as to who stole the four-wheeler? Anything like that is very helpful to us. If there is any kind of surveillance cameras anywhere nearby that you're aware of, that's also very helpful information too. So any of the details, all the details matter. Sometimes the ones that seem like they don't end up being crucial details. So be prepared for that as a victim. Anything you can do there, providing us the details is key. Then what would happen is generally law enforcement will prepare that report, again, as thorough as we can possibly put the report together. We can get you a report number using the example again of the four-wheeler. You might want to notify your insurance company. We'll have a report number that you can provide to that insurance company to show, yes, I had a nice four-wheeler that got stolen. It's report number blah, blah, blah from RCSO. They have it on file. They're investigating it. And you can kind of work with us on that. Our deputy will give you a contact number to call them if you see anything else, if you hear anything else, or if there's any other information that you might need, you can contact us. And likewise, hopefully, our folks will stay in contact with you too. Anything that we see or hear, hopefully something that develops that helps us solve that crime, then we'll be in touch with that. And that's ultimately the goal, is to locate the four-wheeler or whatever the crime might be. Let's solve it, and then we'll take it to the prosecution, take it to the Commonwealth's attorney, and we'll have our report to the Commonwealth's attorney. You may want to be prepared there. As the victim, you may get subpoenaed to court. You may have to come to court. The Commonwealth is great about helping you prepare for that. Anything that you need to know, how that process works as far as the court side of it, how that goes, they can get you set up with the court date and work with you as to when that court date might be, and get you prepared to hopefully get that case successfully prosecuted. And they also have ways of getting anything for restitution. Hopefully, if the four-wheeler is recovered in perfect working order, then maybe, it's all taken care of. If it's recovered and it's completely totaled, then maybe there can be some restitution that goes along with that court case to get you your money back, or something else to get you compensated, I guess, as the victim of that crime. So anyway, that's kind of a quick overview using the four-wheeler as an example, but it is similar for any crimes that may occur, whether it's crimes of property or crimes of the person or whatever they might be. But just be prepared. Don't hesitate to call quickly. More details you can provide, the sooner the better, will help us bring the case to a successful conclusion, which is what we want, and we know as a victim that's what you want. So a great question. Hopefully that answered it. Hopefully I covered everything there in a quick little nutshell. But we appreciate the questions. Again, we do have some that we're going to continue to get to, because I think they're a good thing. We cover, about any topic y'all want to talk about is what we want to cover. So if you happen to have any questions you want to submit, you can submit them in to the newsroom at rocktownnow.com. And keep those things coming. We'll keep hitting them. And again, we want to talk about anything related to, to crime in our area, and hopefully provide some helpful information. Right along those lines, we want to put another friendly reminder out. We'll get this graphic on the board for you for Crime Solvers. Don't ever hesitate to call Crime Solvers either. That number is also a 24/7 number. You can call that any time of day. And the callers, of course, if you want to remain anonymous, you can do so. If you want to be eligible for a cash reward, you can be. And it doesn't have to be a featured. We do the radio segments and things like that for Crime Solvers, but it could just be something that you witnessed, that you're aware of, you want to report, and you can still be eligible for the reward, even if it's not an advertised reward. So Crime Solvers is a big way that law enforcement partners with the community to solve these crimes and to help victims of crimes get justice for whatever that crime might be. So don't hesitate to call 911 or anything else, and Crime Solvers too, anything like that. What we want to do is work together and provide public safety here in the community. So anyway, some great questions, hopefully a good segment. We appreciate you joining us for this segment of the Rocktown Crime Report, and we'll see you next time.